bonus objectives, I've always felt they've been a little sort of perfunctory in the past, where it's like, yeah, you could also kill these 9 power plants if you want to. Where here we've really tried to tie each bonus objective in the campaign into a direct story point, but also make them things that will improve your experience playing the mission if you do the bonus objectives. In fact, we have some missions that have almost none because it felt silly to shoehorn them in if the mission itself was engaging enough on its own. So yeah, they do tie into story, and they're also, I think, more important than bonus objectives in the past.
Okay, cool. And one question I'm seeing a lot of is why are the visuals so colorful and happy? I guess in past CNC games they were kind of gritty and stark, and this one seems a lot more bright and vibrant. What was the decision behind that?
I will certainly, if you play the campaign, it's not exactly shiny rainbow up with people world.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, part of it came from this sort of the Tiberium control network thing. Our art director was really interested in going beyond just doing the post-apocalyptic world. And the idea with the story is that by the time the campaign begins, like you've all seen our prologue where the world is hosed, our story begins 15 years later, at which point this Tiberium control network has allowed humanity to reclaim the Earth. And you'll actually be reading a bit about that online, I think, next couple of weeks when APOC puts the thing I wrote up. But the idea is that they've tried to recreate this almost idealized version of what Earth used to be. And so that led to some of our more colorful, environments. In terms of the unit design, that was really more of a choice from our art director, where we wanted things relatively chunky and easy to read. Simply because we have so many units, affordance is a big deal, where we don't want every player to have to read every tooltip to know what a unit does. We wanted the player to be able to look at the unit and go, I know what that does. You can see it on the unit. And that did lead to our units becoming a little chunkier, a little more cartoony, which, obviously there's been some controversy over. But definitely it gets pretty dark and grim in the campaign. And we have some pretty dark and grim multiplayer maps too. So don't think of it as being just like Red Alert 2 or a lot darker, or Red Alert 3. We're a lot darker than that. But we do share a renderer to a large degree with Red Alert 3, so some of that kind of comes through. It definitely pushes the colors out more.
Okay, cool. And then Christopher Dawson has an interesting question. Can we combine tech? Like, can GDI players get nod tech?
Well, there's a little bit of that where, we have the classic engineer capture. Pretty much all our big units leave husks, so yeah, you can be a nod player stomping around with a GDI Mastodon. But in terms of combining sort of classes between factions, we don't have a lot of that. In fact, we've really very much stratified GDI and nod in this game, just in the interest of making our balance tighter. So not a lot of tech combining, but a bit in the sort of classic CNC sense.
Okay. Cool. Then Dries Kappert asks, will you have any DLC for this game? Is there anything in the works right now, or what's the situation on that?
Can't really talk to that again. Guy with a gun right behind me.
Okay.
He has my dog kidnapped. I don't want to mess with him.
Cool. Alexei Zachow asks, what will happen to Tiberium?
As in the resource itself? Well, to explain that, I'd have to spoil the whole story. Sorry, but yeah, Tiberium, even though it doesn't play as huge a gameplay role in the game, is a huge part of the story. I mean, I'm a old school C player. I was cramming in Tiberium everywhere I could into the game, so it's a big talking point within the game, and the future of Tiberium is revealed sort of right at the very end of the campaign. So to reveal it now would kind of bum people out, or not. But I'm not going to do it.
Cool. Then another good question is there a Mac version in the works?
I would love to say yes, but because I am actually a Mac owner. boo hiss
Yeah,
from the
like
PC gaming community. But I also have a Mac, so it would be cool if I could, run my game on both my machines. But I honestly don't know.
okay, fair enough. Let's see here. Jeff Pearson asks, "Where will CNC4?" Oh, never mind. That's the same question. A lot of people are curious if Kane's going to die, but I'm pretty sure you can't answer that.
Something happens to Kane at the end of the game. It's not what you might necessarily predict. I will also say that there is a really awesome, incredibly expensive Kane and sniper scope scene that's in the game, but beyond that, I reveal nothing.
And then Alexei Zachow wants to know if there's going to be any more support powers like the Orbital Strike or Tib Bomb.
Well, if you've played the beta, you've kind of seen what the support powers in the game will be, where we've tried to, get a variation between your direct strike powers, like your Firehawk Airstrike, and your more sort of buff debuff, like traditional sort of MMO caster type powers. So if you've played the beta, you have a pretty good sense of that. But yeah, we have a nice mix of support. I personally like the Tiberian Vein Catalyst Explosion, which was a update of a CNC 3 Kane's Wrath power that looks really sweet in CNC 4, and also kills a bunch of stuff.
That's always handy. Mattis Plompu asks, will there be any other unlocks besides units and achievements? Like, will there be other colors and skins, anything like that?
Not currently, but we'll see how it goes down the road. We'll see, it's the kind of thing that the popularity of the game determines sort of like how much post-release support we could do. I'd love to do that, but like in the shipping game, it's all unit structures, powers, and we do have a full achievement system. So if you're one of those people like me who likes earning arbitrary awards, we have a ton of those.
Nice. Let's see. Oh, Moses Cat asks, are you still going to do Battlecast Primetime, and will there be a leaderboard?
There'll definitely be a leaderboard, or leaderboards and tournaments and all of that stuff. I mean, APOC's still with us. He is driving force behind all of that. Battlecast Primetime, I think, still going. I think they need me to shoot one soon, but beyond that, I can't say. With Battlecast Primetime, they tell me to turn up at the studio at a certain point, and then I turn up and they shoot. So beyond that, I don't have a whole lot of insight.
Okay. And then, do you guys have anything like tournaments already scheduled for CNC4? Anything like that in the near future?
I know we're working on that. That's really a question more for our community manager, Aaron Kaufman, who, if he was here, I would make him put on the headset and answer that. But yeah, I know we're working on tournaments. We want tournaments. The community involvement is such a huge part of this game that it would be stupid not to have them. In terms of the details, I don't really have any.
Okay. Then Alexei Zachow asks, can you capture different class MCVs and become an ultimate faction?
We had that in for a bit. It was really fun, but it did knock the game balance way out of whack. So we decided to pull that. Like, it was really cool, and I'm sure mod community are going to end up producing like a crawler that spits out every class of every faction and does all kinds of crazy stuff, but certainly not in the shipping game.
Okay. And then Stefan Anderson asks, why doesn't Legion play any significant role in CNC4?
That's a great question, partially because Legion's kind of my baby. It was my creation. I really wanted to take the Cabal story and move it forward, and Legion was the end result of that. And, was the protagonist of Kane's Wrath. So Legion doesn't play a significant role in the story, partially because of what Legion is, which is, to the nod at large, Legion is essentially Eva. In fact, the nod Eva voice in CNC4 is Legion. However, if you noticed in Kane's Wrath, Legion exists in a bunker deep beneath the earth that very few people know about, and that's how Kane wants it. The idea being that Legion is his behind-the-scenes operative. So